Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Well, I got a piece of news here um, having to do with the number of civilians uh, allegedly killed in Mariupol by the Russian army. And let me read you a few things from this article and then just talk about it. So, this article comes from Yahoo News by Nicole Darach, April 6th, 2022. And the title is Mariupol's mayor says more than 5,000 civilians have been killed in besieged Ukrainian city. It says here that more than 5,000 civilians have been killed in Mariupol, Ukraine, since Russian troops took control of the city. Local authorities stated on Wednesday. Mayor Vadim Boychenko said that of the thousands reported dead, 210 were children. On Tuesday, Ukrainian President Zelensky said that he asked French President Macron to help those trapped in Mariupol. I don't know what that meant. Um, it says here that it was technical assistance, and Macron agreed to help provide technical assistance and expert support for investigations into crimes committed in Ukraine by Russia. I will add that some crimes could be committed by other people too, not only by the Russians. Both parts are human, and both armies are, made up by humans. But nevertheless, in the television, in an interview with Turkey's Haberturk television, Zelensky accused Russian troops of trying to cover up their actions in the besieged coastal city and alleged that the Russians were not allowing humanitarian aid into the city until they cleared it up, quote unquote. Then we have it. This is so far from what an international committee of the Red Cross team had tried to reach Mariupol, but turned around last week as a result of what it described as inadequate security protections for rescuers. Yeah, that's a war zone. What do you want? The group later said that it had managed to help around 1,000 civilians safely get to Zaporizhzhia, a government-controlled Ukrainian city located roughly 128 miles to the north, after they left Mariupol on their own for Berdyansk, a city roughly 52 miles west of Mariupol. Before Russia invaded Ukraine, Mariupol's population was 400,000 people. All right, and then we have here some eyewitnesses, and it says here that in recent weeks, a theater in Mariupol was bombed by a Russian airstrike. Local authorities said. Satellite pictures show that the theater was marked with large white letters that read "Children" in Russian. Ukrainian officials also said several bombs were dropped on the children's hospital in the same city, leaving 3 people dead, including a 6-year-old girl. Okay, so it's an awful one. And then we go back to the horrifying pictures taken in Bucha this week showed the bodies of executed, quote-unquote, people discovered after Russian forces withdrew from the city. Well, war is not a fun place, and people die. Most people obviously are just participants, in war because they have to, as military, as civilians that are trapped over there. I would say just a few of them really are involved with evil intentions. The other ones are, some of them just doing their job. Some others are just the victim, as they are victims of war. Every loss of life is obviously sad, and families and children, all those affected. Well, this is an article that Um, it was by Yahoo News, and what is, I mean, doing all the, the positive speech or required speech in such kind of situations, which I just made. Not that I have to, but it's what I feel, it's war and all that. But I have to also be looking at the author of this article and note for you that I couldn't read any opposite or alternate opinion or uh, I don't know counter argument. So uh, let's say you have a domestic violence incident in the family, and you have a man and a woman, so a wife and a whatever man right there. So and then police comes and sees that there are some uh, bodily injuries on one or both uh, suspects, and the police will not grab only one of them and talk to that person, and after talk to that person is gonna go and issue a communique to the press and saying this is what happened, this is what I found, the subject or the victim here or the witness or however you want to call it, this is what this person reported regarding the incident between two parts, and that's it. This is the end of the story. And the mass media will just pick it up and will report that. And mass media or a reporter will try to find out what happened. So when you try to find what happened, you try to look and find all the evidence available. So that means you would go and talk to the other part and obviously discuss with the other person, the other involved in the incident and the altercation, and get his or her uh, side of the story. And then you report both of them, and then is an if you're about to report, you report what you found objectively, and then you ask both parts of what happened, and then they will tell you their stories, which will probably not coincide, and then you post that as this is what this says, this is what this person says, or the subject, and here is the evidence. It has a scratch here, got a black eye, a runny nose, and then you say this reported this regarding that, this reported this regarding, and that's how you report. That's a report. And then the investigation is the one who takes the statements of both parties involved, gets the evidence, the physical evidence and other kind of evidence available. And after they put all that together, they correlate the evidence with the testimonies and all that, and then they reach a conclusion. And usually it's done through an investigator, or it's done through more than one investigator. You don't here is the wife, here is the husband. You don't invite to investigate the wife's mother, so the mother-in-law of this guy, and she's going to be the investigator. Obviously you're not going to do that. If you do that, then invite the husband's mom, her mother-in-law, and then you will never find the truth. That's why you have to hire someone that is impartial outside all this. So you're going to call what, Macron with his investigators, which is actually, in this case, let's say the wife's mother, which is the mother-in-law of this guy. Do you think that the mother-in-law will come and be impartial? Do you think that Macron and his investigators who support these guys will be just impartial? I don't think that a bit. A bit. Maybe in the dreams with unicorns and fairy tales and all that. Yeah, that's possible, but not in real life. So you have the mass media here reporting the evidence they found on the ground, reported, or I don't know, eyewitnesses reported by this side, without even bothering to ask the other side just to see what happened from their perspective, how they denied, how they lie, whatever. they say. You just report, correct? And then when the investigation is done, you don't ask only Macron to participate, the mother-in-law of this part. You ask someone outside of the family who has nothing invested in this, because the mother-in-law might hate the husband, and the husband's mother, which is her mother-in-law, would hate the daughter-in-law. So you see, that's basic ABC 1, 2, 3. Nevertheless, this is what we are fed. And we're supposed to say, oh, yes, very interesting. It's very interesting from an analytic reason and, from a learning process that helps us learn and understand, and other people that have doubts, that this is how things are run. That's not a good picture. No, it's good in certain countries. We call them third world countries or banana republics, right? Not in the United States or the free West and the free world and, let me put my violin and do some little. No, 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 no. But we are like this. It seems like, and we're getting lower and lower and lower. Thank you for being again with me today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.